What do you do on a day like today when the outside air temperature is minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit and with the wind and the blowing snow making it feel like minus 57 degrees Fahrenheit? This is what I'm going to do today to give me something to do with my drones on a day like today. Welcome back to the channel. On a day like today, I'm just going to go ahead and do my drone inspections. Anyway, I made up this sheet that I use to inspect my drones on. I like to do that every 3 to 6 months or so. So anyway, I have, the drone model, and I'll leave this on the screen. It has the drone model, serial number, date, and inspected by, and then my steps that I use to make sure I get everything checked. So the first thing up there is props, clean and check for cracks and or damage and replace if needed. I'm going to go ahead and look over my Air 3 here. So the first thing will be the props. So you want to look them over pretty good. The rubber tips on these are kind of important. And I kind of see where this one's kind of starting to peel off here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and replace this prop. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's definitely coming apart right there. So I guess that's a concern. So I'll replace this prop. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it off of here. And so I remember to replace it, throw it over there. Then the other prop, let's see, that one looks good. Nothing wrong with that one, they look good, that one. This one's coming apart as well. I don't know if you can see that, but look at the rubber tip. It's just coming, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but the rubber is just coming apart on that. So anyway, there's another one I'll have to replace. So we'll take that one off. That one probably should be replaced. And this one, yeah, at this stage, I think I'm just going to replace them all. The next thing will be blow out the vents. I like to take some canned air and I like to go and look at all these vents like in the back there and go ahead and just blow them out and then make sure like the ones on the side of the drone, make sure those are clean. So I'll blow them out and make sure everything is good there. I don't think there's any vents up in the front that need to be blown out. But then clean airframe and check for cracks and or damage. I like to just take a microcloth and I'll wipe it off good and make sure there is no cracks in it or anything like that. I've already done this pretty much on this drone, so I'm not going to worry about this too much. I'm just going to go through it quick here. Clean the motor arms and check for cracks and or damage. Yeah, these are important. The motor arms here, make sure they're good. Get them all cleaned up. We should be good there. I didn't see any cracks. I'll look again, but no, everything looks good. Like I said, I kind of looked this over a little earlier, so we're good there. Clean and check gimbal for cracks and damage. That looks good there. Might be a little bit of a bug goo up there, but that's good. I got that. See, that all looks good. So this looks good. There's nothing I can see there. The gimbal looks good. Then blow out gimbal motors. I like to do that. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I do that just to make sure there's no dust in them. I don't know. They're sealed anyway, I'm thinking, but anyway, I'll blow them off a little bit. Clean and inspect the LED and proximity sensors. That would be all these sensors down here. Make sure they're clean and wiped down good. Of course, you've got your vision system cameras. You want to make sure them are cleaned and everything while you're doing all this. Good time to clean it all up while you're doing all this. Next is check for loose screws and fasteners. So I'm just going to look it over quick here, which I already done a lot of this, so I know there isn't any on this one. And then the next one is to check for loose wires, which on these new ones they don't have hardly any wires exposed anywhere, so I don't see any. The other thing is to look down through the battery box there and make sure there's no wires or anything hanging in there, and that's all good. Then clean the battery terminals and connector and connections. That's good here. I'm not seeing anything with that connector back there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but anyway, there it is. And then check battery compartment, and in the safety switches, of course, you have these two little safety switches right up in here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a couple little safety switches on each side, so if your battery isn't in there inserted all the way, then the drone won't fire up. It's not supposed to anyway. Check the number of charges on the batteries. Now this one we need the controller for. We'll go ahead and fire the controller up. With the batteries, I generally charge them up and then just leave them in the charging hub. Because up here, of course, we can't fly very often in the wintertime. So I just leave them in the charging hub and let the intelligent battery program more or less run them, or take care of them. Or sometimes if I'm out and I know I'm not going to be able to fly for a while, I'll just fly around and run them down to like 65% and then do that to each battery and then put them in the charging hub and leave them in there. So that's what I do with my batteries. But anyway, the number of charges. So I got, of course, as you can see, I got all my batteries numbered. So number one, we'll take number one out, we'll put it in the drone. Go ahead and go into your main menu. You'll want to go down to where it says battery info right here. And on that, you want to check your voltage. And the main thing you want to check here is to make sure that the battery voltage between all four cells is between 1 and 2/10 of a volt. Difference is the most you want. So like on this one, you have about 3.7. So 3.7 is what I'm going to put down. And the number of charges is 23. So I want to record that because I like to keep my batteries all within at least one charge of each other if it's possible. So, all right, so that's battery number one. And we'll insert battery number two. We'll show us here in a minute what we have on this one. Number of cycles on this one is 23 and looks like 3.78. So this one's got a little more charge in it. 3.78 volts, and that's across all four of them, so that one's good. Take battery number three, should show us here in a minute. Okay, that one has 24 cycles, and it has 3.74 volts. Okay, so that takes care of that. The next thing will be the controller. We want to clean and check the controller for cracks and or damage. So I've just looked this over and it's pretty good. It looks good. Everything's in place. There's nothing wrong anywhere. Just wipe it down. Okay, we're good there. Check controller, phone, tablet, screen, wiring, and lights. Well, on this one it's the RC2, so I don't have no wires to speak of. If you have the N1 or N2, of course, you've got the wire coming from the controller up to your phone or tablet. You'd want to look at that, make sure everything's good there. This one and the lights, as you can see, the lights are all on. So if I punch there, they're all working. So it looks like the lights are good. So next will be inspect the controller buttons, gimbal wheel, and functions, and that just feel them. Everything goes. It goes back to neutral on my sticks. My return to home is working. That one's working, of course. Here's my camera. That sounds like it's working. There's the video recording. C1 and C2. Antennas are all in place. So wheels, they're working freely and going back to center. So everything's good there. And then blowout vents. So again, this will be this vent right back here. As you know, on the RC2 controller, we have a fan, so I'll just blow that out and blow that off a little bit, and then we're good. That all looks good and clean. So the controller should be done. And that's what I do for my inspections on my drones and my controllers. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please tap the subscribe, like, notification, and share buttons. And as always, thanks for watching. Be safe, fly safe, and have a great day. What do you do on a day like today? And that's pretty much all I do. On a day like today, when there's nothing I can do outside,